Hey everyone, it's Jack again with Toy Dojo, and today we're taking a look at the TW-M01 ToyWorld's Primorion. We call it Primorion. I say Prim because it's no E after the M there, so whatever you want to call it. Their take on a Masterpiece Optimus Prime. Now, I know if you're like me, you're thinking, well, why do we need a Masterpiece Optimus if we already have an official one? But I think they were going for the Studio Ox version of him. And I'll tell you why I think that whenever we look at the figure itself. So the Prime itself came in this box right here. And then this display base that you see here that it's on came in another box similar to this one here. And then they both came in one larger box. So I'm assuming that's the way they're going to come. All of them being just a cardboard box. Nothing that's like, has any color to it or what have you. So unless they change that, that's probably the way they're going to come. And inside that box, the Prime came in this nice foam black shipping container, and these were all the accessories went. So we'll take a look at the accessories really quick. First thing is he came with this Energon X. Now it's all plastic, all one piece, nice solid plastic. The difference is between this and the official one is this one's a yellow color instead of the nice orange one we usually get, and we usually, I guess, think of Prime with. So we get this one here, orange. We get a nice die-cast matrix of leadership here. All die-cast metal here. With the exception of this here in the center. That's kind of like the jewel. But again, they went with a yellow color instead of I guess the blue that we normally see Prime with. So still a very nice one. Then he came with his rifle. And this is a nice blue rifle here with some silver accents here and that little red strip right there on both sides. Now, I know normally we used to see him Prime with his black rifle, but still, this blue one is nice. And it's got this working trigger here, which you can see here lights it up. So when we do that, click it on, it lights it up. Click it off, it turns it off. So that's really cool. You can have him hold this in his hand, it'll be lit up. And it's pretty strong light too. You can see it going off my hand there. So pretty decent. I like that. That's a nice rifle. It's better than the one we got at the MP10, I'll tell you that much. And then he comes with this little baggie of pieces. So now his windshield and his Autobot logo, if you will, are both a translucent blue. But you can swap them out to be like a black on both of them. Maybe like if you got, what do you call it, window tint. Black window tint. So you got it black here and there. So these little red pieces, I'm not sure what they're for. I never figured that out. So that I'm not 100% sure what they're for. So those are the accessories that he comes with. And then the display case right here, the display stand, we'll get this box out of the way. The box is pretty cool. It has a nice Autobot arc right there, so that's really neat. ToyWorld made in China. So there's the Prime right there. Now before talking about him, we'll look at the display base. And this is another accessory they included, which is really neat because I can't think of a time we got like a display base with any figures. And maybe we have, I just don't remember. But so this is really cool. It comes into 4 pieces. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. They just snap together like that. And I don't mean like snap, snap. They just kind of fit together. And then it comes with this little baggie full of little pieces. And these, you can see they have little pegs on both sides. You got some on the top here and then some on these 2 little triangular sides here. So it looks like I put one right there and one right there. I think that's just to help stabilize the base. And all these extra ones, I'm not sure what they're for, but I believe, and I could be wrong, but maybe they're going to release more pieces of this that you can buy. Or it'd be cool if they release like maybe Teltran 1 to go on top of there, and then you can just use this to peg it in. I don't know, but that's what I'm thinking. So there's that. Really nice display base. Good size too, really good size. So, all right, looking at the Prime himself. Here he is, and if you know the Studio Ox designs or you've seen it, or if you haven't, just Google it. You'll see he's got that same kind of like long pointy antenna look to it right here on the side. And then the biggest thing here is the tire butt. So I know we've seen this before. We saw it on this guy. And that one, if you're like me, I was always wondering why did they do that? I thought they could have hid this better with these side skirts or something, but they didn't, and we ended up having him with tire butt. So this Prime's gonna be the same way. But still, it's a really nice figure. It's put together really well. I don't think he's going to be a replacement. If you have MP10, I don't think he'll replace that. But if you do like Prime and you like collecting them, I think he'd be a nice piece to pick up. So let's bring in MP10. He's right here. And then also, just because I have him, and I say MP10, that's the Hasbro one. The MP01 or the Hasbro 20th anniversary is the one I have here. Just to kind of show off. So obviously we started off with this figure here. And then they made MP05, and then they made the Seekers, and then they said, hey, wait, let's redo this. Then they made MP10. And then all the MPs we have now have been molded after, or I should say molded for the MP10 mold. And so this one was way too big. And you got this guy who's, you know, we see it as being the right size, if you will. And then this one here. So he's kind of in the middle of the three of them. So is that too big for you? Do you like it better for you? That's a question you're going to have to ask yourself. I still like this one. I still think this is an awesome Prime here. I think had they just made these ball joints stronger, because when you stand him, he has so much die cast on him. When you stand him, he kind of likes to lean forward, and it's because that ball joints are looser right there in the base of the foot. So I still like this Prime. It's an awesome Prime, and he's nice and heavy. So let's put him off to the side there. Stand up there, buddy. Don't fall back. And there he goes. He fell down. Something popped off of him too. His head popped off. Oh my gosh. So all right, MP10. And we're going to compare the two of them as far as like differences, similarities as we go along. So we're going to get the display base out of the way as well. Let's pull it off to the side here. All right, so focusing on him, my biggest, I don't say my biggest one, but one of the things that I really wish they would have done better on is the eyes for the face there. So we look at the eyes there, they're really dark. And you can't really see like his eyes, you know, amidst all this here. And the reason was because they decided to go with light piping. And so on the back of his head here, you can see where the light piping is right there. And it's a dark blue, almost just like the helmet is. It's really dark, so you really can't see his eyes come through. And it's too small. So I think they should have just went ahead and painted the eyes instead of doing the light piping. But hey, that was their choice. That's what they wanted to do. So you get that. And then also on this head here, really neat, he has like these little communicating devices that sit right there inside this, right there. And so the way those work is, let me get his arm out of the way. So we look in there, let me zoom in some more. See if I can get that to focus. All right, you can kind of see this little gray bit right there. So you can either get a small little screwdriver and pop that out like that, or what I found you can do is, which I think is what they were going for, but it didn't work too well, is this antenna here on his side. I think it's supposed to be able to just pull it out, but it doesn't. But I found if you just kind of do that, pull it like that, and then kind of just give it a little bit of a push on that, and then pull it at the same time, get behind it, and then pull it out, you see that they pop out there. And that gives him like his little, I guess like little communicating device there. So we'll do the same thing on the other side there, just to kind of show you. So I just tilted it forward, give a little pressure on the side there, and then pull it, and then they'll pop out. So that's neat. I like that. That's cool. Let's get them back in. And really, he does have a nice head sculpt too. I do like the head sculpt, aside from the eyes there. I think it's a nice head sculpt. And then looking at articulation for him, get this camera down a little bit. The head again is on a, I'm not sure that's not a ball joint there, but it turns here, looks up, looks down. The arms themselves are on a nice strong ratchet. They come out, and you can make them come out all the way like this if you pull it out just like that. And that pops this part out of his shoulder, so that slides in and out like that. That way you get more range on the arm right there. The mirrors here, they do come out, so you can get them to sit out or sit in. Obviously for truck mode, and then for his robot mode like that. He's got a bicep swivel right there. He's got a nice strong ratchet in his elbow like that. This piece right here, so like I was saying, you got these blue bits right here that are translucent blue. You can do one of two things. You can either open it up and then swap that out for the black one that we saw a minute ago, or you can take the whole thing and then just right here, just flip it. So that'll flip just like that, and it'll come up. And then that way you don't have to worry about it. You can just have his red arm like that. So I'm sure somebody another third-party company, because this thing pops off just like this. So my guess is at some point somebody will either come out with one of these pieces here for an Autobot logo, or maybe just a whole piece so you can just take off and snap in there. I'm assuming that's probably what they're going to do. So let's put that back into the way it was. Close that down. Okay. Getting down to the hands. The wrists here, they swivel, and then they kind of do this funky layout bit like that. I think that's more for transformation, but if it would have been better if they would have made them go in and out, you know, be able to go out and then in, but they didn't, they only go out. So the hands themselves though, the fingers are articulated, the thumb's on a ball joint here. The rest of the fingers though, they're pinned right through, and I prefer the pin versus the ball joint, especially on the fingers here, because they have a chance of popping out and then breaking. So it's good they went with a pin right here. The fingers themselves are all articulated, so you got articulation right here at the base, right here, and then right there, and the same thing for all of them. But they all are just about the same size, almost. These two here are about the same size. This was a little bit shorter, and that one's a little bit shorter, but been nice to have made it look a little bit more correct as far as lengthwise. So, but a lot of nice detailing done on this. You can see detailing done here. Open up the chest right here. You can see some detailing done right there inside the chest. And then back in the back right there as well. So they did a lot of nice detailing work on this figure. And then a matrix, we'll take that, so we have his chest opened up, and just pop that right inside there. So I say, come on, there we go. And then we get him with his matrix right there in his chest. Now the one thing I will say that I do like about this one is they did not go with the fake grill here. So this grill here is for his chest and then also for his robot mode, or his truck mode. So they don't give a fake grill the way this guy got one. So that's neat. And then when you want to close these close up right here, these two holes go right there. So you just kind of line them up together, they interlock and go just like that. Then he's got a nice translucent yellow here, so there's no need for any painting of these here. That's neat. Going down, he does have a waist swivel. Get these out of the way. He's got a waist swivel here, which you got to be mindful of the tires back here in the back in order to get that waist swivel. And he also got kind of a waist ab crunch there as well. And then you got on the legs, they come out to the side. No ratchet there. That will fall due to gravity there. But it's got a ratchet, a soft ratchet going backwards and forward. Open this up. My biggest thing about the legs here is a couple things. One, you got this weird little thing like this that does that for some reason. And then they have them to where they fold out. So they kind of fold up in just like this here. So they actually do fold out like this. And then they fold back up. And that was for transformation parts. But I think they over-engineered this, to be honest with you, when you transform him. I think he's over-engineered. So the knees, they have a thigh swivel right there. Kind of breaks up the mold though. I don't know if I really agree with this here. Then he's got a knee bend on a strong ratchet, which is a double jointed knee bend like that. That's neat. Down here on the foot, because he's Prime, this are always going to fold in like this for his truck mode. And then he's got a toe tilt or ankle pivot tilt like that. And these do open up as well. We see that they open and they close. So that's neat. He's got die cast on him. This piece is die cast here. These are die cast right here. These here are also die cast metal. So a lot of not die cast on him. Comparing him to the Prime here, like I said, there's nothing wrong with him mainly, or really I should say. My one thing though about his bot mode, it looks a little blocky, and I think like the hips here for me are just a little bit too wide right here. You see how he has this nice V shape, and all of a sudden he comes out and he's got these large hips. Whereas on this one, yeah, he kind of has them too, but not. It doesn't look as bad. They kind of just go out and then back in. They're kind of tapered in a little bit. So I think this one just, they made a little bit too blocky right there on those hips. And then my biggest thing is, I don't care for the back here. Again, I know what they were probably going for, but for me, for my personal preference, I don't really care for the back right here. I think the backpack is clean though. That looks really clean. If we compare it to the official MP. This one doesn't look all that bad, you know, when we look at it right there. But I think his is a little bit more cleaner right here in the back. So there you go. And then one thing I don't see a lot on him at all, let's go down. I see him in the shoulders, some screw holes there, but I don't see any, like he has screw holes all over the place right here, whereas his aren't. His are hidden pretty well. So that's a plus, I would say, I guess, for them. Okay. So we got a transformation of this guy. Like I said, I think they over-engineered the transformation. He's a little bit more difficult than your normal Prime is. And again, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't really care for hard figures to transform. I mean, I think it's fun, you know, because it's a little bit challenging. But then after a while, I'm like, man, I wish the thing was a lot easier to transform. Maybe it's just me because I'm not really good at transforming things, I guess. So we're gonna go ahead and just transform him, get him to his truck mode, and then we'll transform MP10 and take a look at them. All right, neighbor's dog was barking, so I had to stop so I didn't get the yapping on the video. So okay, transforming him. He's a little bit, some parts a little bit fiddly and difficult to transform. Like I said, I think they just put too much engineering into it instead of it just being like Prime, but here we go. Okay, so normally with a Prime, you start off with tucking the head away, but we're not going to in this case, and it's because the antenna, if you don't do it right, the antenna can get bent and messed up, so we'll talk about that. So the first thing I'll do, and again, this came with no instructions, so I'm just going to go off of just what I found to be the way. I told you guys he had an ab crunch there. So what you want to do is take the waist and flip it around, because you need to utilize that ab crunch, but for the back, okay? So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to take these two. These are obviously, you can see how they popped off there. These are two separate pieces here. So you want to take this one here, and we need to, let's get the chest piece opened up first, actually. Let's do that. So we need to get this grill piece out of the way. So we're going to get the grill, because we need to make clearance room up there. And the grill itself is actually, folds in right there. So you just take that, fold that up, and then get the grill out of the way, because we need to have clearance for this piece right here and this to work together. There's a lot of clearance spots here we got to deal with. So take this piece here. I'm going to have him laying down a lot, so I'm going to put this camera facing down a little bit. There we go. So take this, unhinge this part right here, just like so. Let's get these out of the way. We got to get that bend. There we go. Okay. Take that down, like so. And this, we're going to fold this out of the way. Just get these out of the way. So both sides, we got to get them out of the way. All right. Now, where we're having the clearance issues is right here. So we can see there's this little peg right there, and this piece right here. So this here is on a sliding mechanism like this, so that can slide out. But you have to, and then, you know, if you have big fingers or just big hands in general, it's kind of hard to get that thing off of that, because you got to work this square piece around that little peg right there. If there was no peg there, you probably could just slide it off, but there is, and so you kind of have to sit there and mess with it. And then all the while trying to keep this thing from sliding back, because it will slide down. You got to have it slid out, because if you don't have it slid out, it's not going to work right. So I can sit there and fiddle with it. It's going to take me forever. I'm just going to take this little screwdriver. I'm not going to go poking and breaking anything, but you take that, I'm putting it underneath it, just kind of give me some leverage there, and then I can work that piece hopefully around that peg right there. Let's get that. There we go. Pop that open like that. And this piece is going to fold up inside, right up in there. So that'll hide away there. Let's do the same thing on this other side like this. Let's see if we can't do that there. Put this there. Slide it up, shall I say, slide it up, and then work that deal around that peg best I can, like that. Okay, and so this issue, there's another issue that I have, and this is always going to keep popping off. So these pieces right here, they're on just these smallest of little spots right here. I mean, I don't even really feel any pegs at all going on there. That's almost just like on there by friction, and it's really not that good either. This piece keeps popping off. So I'm sure that's going to keep popping off this whole video. See, just like that. So I'm just gonna get these off right now because they're gonna keep popping off. Like I said, I know that's not the way it's supposed to be done. Obviously, you don't transform it by making it a parts former, but that's gonna be the easiest spot. So we're just gonna do that. Get this out of the way. Pull this up. So now with the head, I open these up like this, both of them in the back. With the head, if you look at this spot right here, you can see it right there. Let me zoom in some. Right there, that hole. The antenna are going to be sitting through there. If you don't sit the antenna through there, you're going to end up bending the antenna and make them look all ugly. So we got to make sure and do that just right. So let's get these back actually. I'm going to fold this piece down right here. Just like so. Get that folded down out of the way. And then the antenna, fold them back all the way. And then his head, you're going to tilt it down, start tilting it with his face facing his back. And getting that in there. You'll kind of see where the antenna will start to go. Let me see if I can zoom in better. The antenna are going to have to go into that little hole that's right there at the bottom there. So kind of get them, and then, like I said, work it slowly, make sure you're getting it just right. And you should start to notice the antenna popping out of the hole there. Let's see. Right there. You can see the antenna working its way through, and it should be done on both sides if it was done correctly. And it was. So I like to wait until this part so I can see the head go in there, because if you just do it in the beginning, you don't know if you made it through or not, and then you end up damaging those antenna. So once you do that, close that back up just like that. Then we can fold those out of the way. Whoa. Forgot I was too close. Fold those up out of the way. And these bits right here, you want to get these out of the way. So let's kind of fold them up. Here, let me get back up now. These bits here, we're going to fold these up. You want to kind of have them folded. They're on some hinges, a hinge here and a hinge there. So you take that and hinge it to where it's facing down like this, okay? And then we'll work on that later, because that's going to end up going and attaching to the bumper right there. So let's get that and close this back up right now, like so. And then the arms, we'll pick these up too, because these are going to end up coming up anyway, so it doesn't matter when you do them. I'm just going to get them up out of the way right now. So the arms themselves, okay, you're going to take them, they're going to fold away just like the way Prime does, but you got to get this section here and you got to fold this up into itself. So take these, it's kind of funky, there we go, and just slide that back. That way you got that perfect like L shape. And then on the hand, you want to take that, and the way I found that the hands work is you take them and rotate them so where the fingers are facing out, and then fold the thumb down flat, and then the fingers themselves, fold them up against the hand like that, okay? Now this is the way I found. I don't know, again, without instructions, I don't know if this is the way it's going to work, but I'm thinking it is. And then you got to make use of that weird foldy joint I told you about there, and fold that hand in like that. And then down here on the bottom of the forearm, fold these bits out like this, fold that one out, fold this one up, and now you're going to have that. And this is going to work into where you fold this into the back like that, smash that in like this, close that up. Well, first making sure this is opened up. And so this is the part, if you have, slide that up, if you have this piece on there, it's going to be a little bit difficult. So let's say we had that on there. All right, you would have to, there would be no other way to do it besides opening this up. So you'd have to open this up and have that sitting like that. And then it may or may not get in the way, so that's why I just pulled it off. But take that, fold it in like this, close that up to the back like that. And like I said, it's a little bit fiddly to mess with this. Let's get that. There we go. Close that up. And then the hand closes up like this. And you would close this down and around and plug that in just like that. And you kind of have to sit there and work it to make sure it's all fitting just right. So we'll work that. Once we get everything squared away, we're going to work that in better right there. So we can do the same thing on the other side. And that grill shouldn't be popped out like that. Let's get that up. We can pull this down. Let's get that down. Like that. Okay, there we go. Now let's do the same thing on the other side here. So let's go ahead and work on doing this. Open that up. Pull this one out. Like so. Do this one down like that. And then work the hand around. Get it all mashed away together. Like that. Down like that. Fold it in. get the arm worked in like this. So you got that nice squared off look to it. Okay. Then take the arm, fold it back around, because that's going to peg into, that peg is going to go into that hole right there. So that's what you got to work into it when you get that back there, just like that. Fold that in. And get that into that best we can. There we go. Fold that away. Let's see, that piece even popped off, even I wasn't even messing with it. There's some parts on here that I just really don't care for as far as the transformation goes. Like I said, I think it was just over-engineered, in my opinion. They could have made it more simplistic, but you know, I wasn't the designer. Pull that hand back. There we go. And get that in like that. Okay. Now we're starting to make some shape here. So let's get these pieces and pop them back on where they belong. That goes on the other side. This one goes on this side here. Like that. And take this one and pop it on like this. And again, maybe it's not going to be as difficult when we get the instructions on it. Maybe it will be. I don't know. All I know is what I'm given here is a little bit difficult to mess with. Okay. And these pieces here, they're going to open up right there. That's going to fold down and cover that up. Same thing on the other side here. This will open up and fold down like that. And now we're just going to get everything and just make sure it's all squared away up here at the front of the truck. Alrighty, almost done. Okay, so now, down here on the bottom, take the wheels, fold them up, like so. This piece is going to come up, and these, you want to get these two pegs, they're going to peg into those two slots right there. So you want to kind of get them lined up just enough to where they're going to go into that. And then they should peg in right there without any really issues. Let's see. Just got to get them lined up. That's what I'm messing with here, to get them lined up. Well, I say no issues, but then I always have issues, don't I? You guys know that. It's always something. Nothing's ever just 100% easy when I do these reviews. So let me get this thing lined up. Give me a second here, guys. Okay, there we go. So once you have all this opened up like that, you're going to take this up. That's going to fold up like so. And all this is going to fold in and peg in just like this. Take that up, fold that up like this. That goes in right there. These peg into each other on the sides. And these here, just take that and just kind of like fix them a little bit. Best you can. Let's see, may have to come underneath here. Let's see if I can use this deal here. Where are they? There we go. There's one there. Pop that out. The other one over here, just pop it out. That way you got that nice and clean. So, all right, there's that section. We got the front cab done. So now we'll work on the back of the cab. So on the back of the cab, normally it's just, hey, close these together, push them in, and then you're done. But this one, not so much. So first we'll start by just folding down the feet, just like this. And then we're gonna go ahead and work on, we'll do this leg first. So take the gas can here, open it up. That way you got that opened up like that. And we're gonna take this section right here, scratch myself there because I was itching. Take this section right here, and we wanna rotate this inward. So these pieces are facing inwards like this, okay? Then we're going to untab these wheels, like so. If I can get it untabbed, there we go. Take them and then rotate them around so that way they're facing down just like that, okay? Now we want to take this section here, we're going to rotate this top piece here. So that way that's facing on the inside like that. So take that, and just kind of rotate that. Be mindful not to rotate it right here, at this piece here, okay? You don't want to rotate this, you want to just rotate this. You see how that moves? That also rotates down. Let me get that open. It rotates down and around just like that, okay? So keeping this. So you want to make sure this little part here that has like the little hole is going to be on the top, all right? Not the screw hole, but the one that's just a hole like that. So you take that and then you're going to go ahead and just collapse the leg inside. Now as you're doing that, you also have to start twisting this piece back around. Because if you don't, if you do it just like that, you're not going to be able to twist it. So kind of in the same motion, you want to take this and start twisting that top piece that you first twisted and get that starting to come up. That way it all works together. It's a little bit difficult. It can be a little fiddly to mess with it. But once you start to get it, it starts to go over like that. So get this, there we go. Knock it down, and then close that down like that. And now you're about to get that done like that. So we got one done. Let's go work on the other one before we start closing them up. And I guess what you could do, make use of this joint here. I'm looking at that now. Is pull that out, pop that out like that. Probably make it easier to do it. Let's see. So again, we're going to rotate. Let's take this up first. Do that. Rotate this in. On that one, when you rotate, you're rotating it on this thigh joint there. Okay. Pop these off. Turn them around like so. Then rotate just this section right here by itself. We can get it. How did I do that? There we go. Rotate that. Then start to get this part again collapsed in, all the while rotating this piece back up. I may have been out of frame there. Apologize. Get that thing back up, just like so. And rotate that around. Not there. Here. Okay. All right, that should be good. So I say, let's see, make sure I got it right. Like that. Those tire pieces are going to plug in right there at the bottom, so you can just kind of mesh them together like that. And then these here, you got to pick these guys up and out of the way. And so this is going to peg into right there. Get one there. Come on, like that. And do the same thing on the other side there. Peg that in like that. The legs will come together themselves, like so. And the last thing you gotta do is you gotta get these and rotate these around. I probably should have done that before I did the legs. Yeah, let's do that. Rotate them around. I should have done that before I even plugged in the gas cans. Rotate them around like so. And then they're going to peg into the backs right there. And then let's go ahead and work the gas cans in and the legs. So what happens when you don't have instructions and then you forget how you initially got it. So, all right, let's get those and just close everything up. And that pegs into the back right there. Pull these down like so. Just make sure that everything is lined up just right. And there we are. That was a bit of a process, wasn't it? So, there's Prime right there, transformed into his truck mode. And, you know, for all the not fun I was having, I guess, transforming it, I should say, he is actually a nice truck mode. He's real boxy, I know that, but again, those old 80s pickups, those Peterbilt trucks were real boxy. We still have one where I work. An old one looks just like Prime, so I know they're boxy just like this, so I think it's really neat. Looks good, he rolls really well. Looks like there's a spot there if they're going to make maybe a cab frame later on, I don't know, but you can see it right there where that would plug into there. So, really nice. Everything's sitting really well. Like I said, they don't have the fake grill here. So this grill, that's one thing I like about it. The grill itself that goes for his chest and the actual grill for the truck are just one piece and not two. So that's really neat in itself. You got some gappage down here, but then again, you know, it's nothing major. The wheels themselves, because they do kind of do this, you can get them free moving, so you can make him look like he's turning. So that's really neat. Like I said, nice looking truck. So, okay, I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to transform MP10, put him back, and then we'll take a look at it. I'm going to do MP10 and MP01, just so we can kind of see what the three of them look like together. So, be right back. Alright, so here they all three are in their truck modes. We got MP10 on the left, Primorion in the middle, and then the MP01 mode on the right. So looking at the three truck modes, obviously they look similar. This one, we know we had issues with this because of the way it didn't even sit flush right there. It was kind of like a weird, I don't know, whatever right there. And then, I forgot to flip that in. His head popped off. You heard me say in the review, his head popped off. But I forgot to flip that over, but whatever. It's not about him. Him here. So, I do like this truck mode. I think it's nice. I know it's pretty boxy. But again, those old Peterbilt Mac 10 trucks are always boxy like that. The MP10 has a little bit of a curve right at the top. So, but the thing I like about this one better is the fact that it hides everything really well. If we look at the side of all three of them here. Let me get them all in the frame here. If we look at the side of all three of them, you see there's a gap right here. You can see the waist right there on MP10. Same over here in MP01. You have the gap and you can see the waist there. But here on the ToyWorld version, everything is hidden. There's no gaps. You can't see the waist. Everything's hidden really well. So I think I like that a lot better over here. You got this gap right here on MP10. And I think it looks better here. Everything is hidden really well inside there. In the front, everything looks good. My biggest thing that I like the best is that there's no fake grill on this guy that like there is on these two guys, which are hidden here at the bottom there. So taking a look at the bottom of them, we can see, let's stand them up. That makes it easier because they're all able to stand on their faces or grills, whatever. You can see the bottom there, they hit everything well right there. You can see here on these two guys where these are the waist pieces. Here you can't see the waist piece, everything was hidden really well. They all have gaps on the bottom, but no big deal. I think that's really neat. They all have rubber tires. He's got rubber tires too, so that's cool in itself. On the back of them, you can see where, again, this has this here, and here they hid that everything really well by folding up the grill pieces here and having that against that. So there was one thing I wish they could have changed would be to somehow made these flip to where maybe it would have been red on the back and you could have had that more match with the truck. But still, it's not too bad. It doesn't look too bad. I like the truck mode. I like the robot mode too. It looks nice. But I didn't like the transformation. I thought the transformation was just too much for it. Again, that's me not having instructions, and maybe I wasn't doing things right. I don't know. But from what I was getting out of it, it was just a little bit too fiddly. These pieces kept popping off on me, which I really didn't care for. And so that I didn't like. But all in all, I think it's a decent truck and figure itself. Now, do you need to replace your MP10 with it? I honestly don't think we have to. I think our MP10 is great for what it is. But if you collect primes, I think this is a definite pickup for you if you love primes. I think it's another nice version of an Optimus Prime. Especially the way everything looks just so solid up here in the front, you know, on the truck and everything like that. So, but again, that's up to you and your thoughts on that deal. So I'm going to put a link in the description below where you can order this from at Toy Dojo. And again, as always, leave me comments down below. What do you think of him? Do you think he's good, better, not as good, horrible? What do you guys think about him? And just leave me the comments below. And until next time, you guys, stay safe.